success here, scoring multiple times, multiple games, scoring on that first possession. And here, Coppin State is going to line up defensively and get ahead of it.
Yeah, they've pretty much surrendered that opening tip. Cavaliers scored 5 seconds into the game on Tuesday. Latasha Lattimore from the outside, 9 seconds in. It's 3-0 UVA.
Straight out the gate, she said, I am here, and I'm going to continue what I was able to do in my last game, or my last outing out against Maryland Eastern Shore.
Lattimore with her 6th 3 this season. Coppin State keeps the ball here as the Eagles are facing this 3-2 Virginia zone. Inside, the shot goes up. Lawrence on the misfire. Offensive rebound, and the stick back is there for Layla.
Good attack there. She's a great rebounder. She likes to get the shots right in front of that basket, so you have to box her out.
Cavaliers playing in game 13. They're 7-5. This is their 9th different starting lineup combo.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, right, you're still a lot of newcomers for this Virginia team. And so Coach Mox is trying to find their rhythm, right? They're not trying to find Coach Mox's rhythm. They have to vibe with one another.
Coppin State lineup on the bottom of your screen as well. Angel Jones, the 2nd best scorer on this team, behind Lawrence at a career-high 15.5 per game. Cavaliers with the steal. Here is Paris Clark. Her pass disrupted, and a steal. Lawrence coming back. 3-on-1 for Coppin State. Danny McTeer, Johnson with the swipe.
Both teams here not allowing anything easy.
Cavaliers with a couple of turnovers. Coppin State has one. Eagles offensively 62.5 points per game. They're not known for their offense. Speaking with Coach Woods, he told us that his team's identity is on the defensive end: disrupt, deflect, defend.
Oh, that was so good. Disrupt. Oh boy, does Compton State get in your face, make things uncomfortable, and at the same time offensively they're going to disrupt. They're going to do some nuanced things.
Danny McTeer, the William and Mary transfer, misfires. Cavaliers pushing the ball in transition, very effective here. Johnson too strong. Edessa Noyan lost the ball, but it was deflected by Coppin State, so it remains with UVA.
Virginia, every single time down the court, they have been taking good shots. They're looking to get in the paint. The first bucket of the game was a Lattimore 3 that was in her range and wide open, right? They're not forcing anything too early in this game. Something that Coach Mox talked about in their last outing against Maryland Eastern Shore was, we weren't ourselves very early on. And they had to relearn, she said, how to win after losing 4 games straight. And they were able to find that rhythm throughout the game. But here, Coach Mox is like, we don't have time. We don't have time to figure it out in game. And so here so far, they have been extremely aggressive.
So the officials, Kevin Sparrick, Timothy Bryant, and Linda Miles, they have stopped play here because some extra time trickled off the clock after the ball went out of bounds. So they're adjusting things, not only the game clock, but the shot clock, and they get it to 21 here. Yeah, the Cavaliers with that win on Tuesday over Maryland Eastern Shore, their first victory since Thanksgiving. Kymora Johnson coming off a fantastic game, 24, 9, and 6. Here's Olivia McGhee. Now, McGhee was great against Maryland Eastern Shore. Had 8 points in the 4th quarter alone. Here's Tiffany Hammond, a majority of her shots coming from the perimeter this season. Coppin State with an extra possession. Long-range shot. No dice that time from Angel Jones. Kymora Johnson always with her head up, gliding and peering, and now settles things down. Clark lofting it. Lawrence, the drive, rather Lattimore, the miss. Offensive rebound, and Noyan is fouled going up.
Great take there for Lattimore. Her ability to get to the rim. Didn't see it go down, but she had a post partner there who was able to get the rebound and go back up with it. I think something that's so important to continue watching with Lattimore is that she's playing the outside. Edessa Noyan is on the inside, right? And so she's able to see the game from a different standpoint as well. And she's taking that all into her toolkit.
Coming up tonight on ACC Network and the ESPN app, we have a primetime West Coast men's basketball matchup in San Jose as Cal takes on the number 23 San Diego State Aztecs. We'll take things off from the SAP Center at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. 5-2 Cavaliers over Coppin State in the 7th ever meeting between these programs. Virginia has won the first 6. Here's a 3 for Coppin State. Hammond can't get that one to go.
Big rebound there for Lattimore. Rebounding out of the zone is extremely hard.
Edessa Noyan from the corner.
Edessa Noyan's always in the right spot. Whenever she's out on the court, she makes her minutes count, and to be able to just knock down a simple corner shot right there is important.
Jump ball, and possession will stay with Coppin State.
Virginia just lines it up. This is a secondary transition bucket. She sees the drive and spaces out so that she can have a wide open shot there and relieve her point guard.
Noyan playing in her 3rd straight game after missing 6 with pneumonia. She was even hospitalized during that stretch, but Noyan starting to pick up her rhythm as Lattimore cleans it up. Johnson, the hesitation, shuttles and kicks to Noyan. Hand off for Paris Clark, averaging 7.5 points per game so far this season. Lattimore swooping inside and finding 2.
Didn't think about it. Great foot fake and go the other way.
Lattimore has 5 of the 9 for UVA, the other 4 belonging to Noyan. Inside, a lot of contact, no whistle. Lawrence on the finish.
Oh, she's gonna battle. She is going to battle. She's a leader on this team, and like I said in the open, she knows that the success of her team is on her back, and she takes that responsibility very serious.
An assertive rejection there on the defensive end for the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC. Ari Vadrell-Belinga has checked in, 3 in the Navy, with the ball at the high post. Takes the jumper and cans it over Lattimore.
Belinga is dangerous in that mid-range spot. When everyone's attention's on Lawrence, Belinga's able to just line one up.
Belinga coming over from Coastal Carolina, swooping in and scoring. It's Paris Clark. Clark has missed a lot of time this season with some ankle issues, but back in the fold now for UVA over the last couple of games. Speaking with Coach Woods, he said, yeah, we're going to face a 3-2 zone, but we believe there are spots we can expose as the Cavaliers are called for a foul here on Lawrence.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times here for Coppin State. They have someone right in the middle of that zone. And it's a wide zone, right? Because it's a 3-2, and so the person may not be standing in the middle of the paint, but they are standing in the middle of that zone so perfectly for them to be able to get it and kick it to a shooter.
You ever play in a 3-2 zone in college, Lauren?
I have. Really hard to rebound out of.
Yeah, and speaking with Coach Mox the other day, she said the point player at the top of the 3-2 in the center has the best opportunity for those defensive rebounds because most of the shots come from the outside wings.
Yep, long shots or long rebounds. So you have to be able to follow the trajectory of where the ball is being shot from, where it could come off of, but also still box out.
Cavaliers have been a great rebounding team. Coppin State has not, but the Eagles get the basket there. Sari Worley checking in off a career-high 15-point night against Kent State on Thursday.
Yeah, got in her groove. She is a newbie to the Coppin State team and was able to find her confidence with the rotations.
Brianna Hurd is a newbie with UVA, the freshman, coming in from Missouri, and she earns a couple of shots.
Good opportunity. Didn't get a box out, and she just flies in there, gets a hand on it, and now is able to make them pay.
Brianna Hurd had started all the games for UVA prior to the game on Tuesday, and Coach Mox was looking for a response from Brianna, and she got one. 11 points, 3 for 8 from the floor, knocked down a couple of threes, tied her career high with 3 assists, career high 3 blocks, 4 rebounds against Maryland Eastern Shore. I think she responded there, Lauren.
Oh yeah, the blocks was what really stood out to me. Because defensively, she's a great defender, but I think this Virginia team is really taking it personal when teams come in that paint.
Yeah, long wingspan at 6'2" as well.
Yeah, I think they're third in the ACC with 5.7 rebounds per game this season.
And here is Hurd blazing ahead, trying to go 94 feet, and a foul on Coppin State prevents that. Cavaliers by 5 over the Eagles early on from JPJ.
Career, right? And not just the amount of years or games that she's, you know, played or not played in, but the fact that she's had an injury-ridden career. And so you can see the difference from her time in Texas and in Miami versus now. It's the effectiveness, it's the impact that she's had so far in just 11 games that makes a difference.
Yeah, suffered a torn ACL in high school, then suffered another torn ACL in college. But part of the reason why Lattimore is really thriving with UVA, this relationship with Coach Mox dates all the way back to when she was in 6th grade. Mox was recruiting Lattimore when Mox was at Michigan State way back when. Kymora Johnson with the reverse layup. Lattimore posing problems down low, but instead it's Layla Lawrence who absorbs it. Coppin State early on 4 for 13, but 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. An Eagles team that makes just over 6 threes per game, tops in the MEAC. And they can't get one there with Lawrence on the outside.
Not a lot of ball movement on that offensive play, and we know that in order to get out of the zone, you have to be able to knock down some shots, and you've got to make the defense move a little bit more.
Angel Jones now in transition, fumbles it, tight-roping the baseline, throws it into the backcourt. Here's Olivia McGhee prancing ahead and lays it in for 2.
Points off of turnovers. Virginia does such a good job of being able to get it out, whether it's a steal, whether it's a 50-50 ball, they chase it down. And we saw that in that play. We're just there.
Cavaliers forcing 17 turnovers per game. Coppin State also really good on the defensive end, forcing giveaways. Lawrence inside, cutting to the basket and strikes.
There's that middle in a 3-2 zone. That short corner is open. And when you get the ball to the short corner, you're able to dump it off right into the middle, and that is going to be the difference maker.
Here's Taylor Lauterbach, the center at 6'7". That's not really her game from the outside. Here comes Coppin State. Jones in her 2nd season with Coppin State, moving over from Siena, an all-MEAC 2nd-team selection last season. Goes with the floater, doesn't go. Offensive rebound and the kick out. Here's the 3 from Worley, and Coppin State remains scoreless from beyond the arc.
We saw there Virginia switched up the defense. They had been in the 3-2, now come down and there in man-to-man. Coppin State, not sure if they recognize the opportunity to maybe get a ball screen in there in that possession.
Coppin State bringing on Nia Gaston, who did not play on Thursday in the overtime victory over Kent State. An Eagles program that, prior to that win over Kent State, beat George Washington for the first time in program history. They've got some mojo, and they only trail by 2 now.
There they go, able to see one go down for Jones, able to knock that 3-point down. Don't want her to get too comfortable.
Jones pretty much 2nd in every statistical category for Coppin State. Johnson lines up the triple. Offensive rebound. Here is Lattimore. She's unstoppable on the block.
Powerful move down low. No space or no contact on that box out, and she's able to just elevate over and get that perfect position.
Senior from Toronto at 6'4". Lawrence doesn't have the answer. Back to UVA.
Lattimore, 4th rebound, maneuvers her way. She's kind of underneath the basket and maneuvers her way to be able to finish that around and through. 4 hands there contesting that layup.
And Coach Mox telling us this morning, yeah, Lattimore had the big game against Maryland Eastern Shore, 18 and 15, but she's not even close to reaching her potential.
Oh, yeah. You know, coaches can usually see it before players are even aware, you know, but I even think about, you know, the balance of everything, right? The balance of returning of injury, the balance of finding your rhythm in a new system, new coach. And although she knew Coach Mox for a very long time throughout her life, she had to get used to her as a coach and used to her new teammates.
Lattimore again, rushing right to the basket, blocking call, free throws for Lattimore. She's just in the zone right now.
Green light for Lattimore right now. You know, something about both these coaches I noticed when talking about them, they trust them. Look at, she's just attacking that lane. She's able to take advantage and stop just early enough to not pick up a charge.
Lattimore, a 62% free throw shooter this season with UVA. Tonight, after the college football playoff first-round games between SMU and Penn State and Clemson in Texas, the Huddle crew will break them both down from top to bottom and have coach and player interviews. We anticipate the start time to be around 7 Eastern. One of the best days for football in the country, and also some great non-conference women's basketball here from JPJ as Paris Clark shuffles the feet. Cavaliers had a lot of miscues in their game against Maryland Eastern Shore. 19 turnovers. Maryland Eastern Shore, conversely, only had 12. And that's why the Hawks really stayed in that game for a large chunk of it. Clark with the steal for UVA. 2-on-1 with Lattimore up ahead and the deuce.
Beautiful transition bucket between Clark and Lattimore. Coppin State has to find a way to reverse the ball in this zone. Going up against this zone, you have to move it. You have to get them tired a little bit, make them work.
10 points in 9 minutes for Lattimore. Clark banks it off the body of Balinga. Official falls down. Layup doesn't go for Coppin State's Gaston. And we're just making sure that everybody's okay here. Edessa Noyan on her feet, laughing it off with Linda Miles. Everybody's okay.
Everyone's okay, just going after loose balls. Edessa Noyan, I think she was trying to just tap it in to McGhee and hook the ref out of here.
What a beautiful somersault. Olympic Games in 2028 maybe for Miss Miles?
Hmm?
Clark shuffling, Euro, no, Lattimore. Oh, and now she's in a bit of a wrestling match inside.
Man, that would have been a beautiful execution of that play. Virginia got everyone to one side of the floor and was able to do a ball screen, but wasn't able to finish it.
You know, Lauren, early on in this game, it seems like everything offensively for UVA is just coming downhill.
Oh yeah, going towards the basket. And I think that's also because we talked to Coach Woods, Coppin State's coach, about, you know, they don't go super deep into their bench, right? So if you can get some of those players who are putting up some points like Lawrence and Jones, and you can get them in foul trouble, that helps Virginia.
Yeah, the foul trouble, and also this Coppin State team has played a lot of minutes in recent games.
Oh yeah.
3 straight wins in overtime for Coppin State. Lattimore with a dozen. 5 for 6 from the floor, 5 rebounds. And Lattimore once again is on double-double watch. 6 of them in her career, 4 with UVA already. Game clock at 7 here. The overload for Coppin State against this zone. Moving around, the 3 from Jones, a whistle. And 3 shots for Angel Jones.
Not a good foul there. 2.6 seconds left on the clock, and Jones was able to bait McGhee in. Ball's moving quick, and she just releases it as soon as the ball came into her hands. Really good timing there, actually, on taking that shot.
Jones nearly 77% at the line this season. Coppin State ending the 7-0 Cavaliers run as Jones misses the second.
Yeah, Jones is shooting 77% from the free throw line as well, getting to the rim, or getting to the line often, I should say.
Third free throw, that's good. Coppin State trailing by 7. Paris Clark with an opportunity through a maze of 3 Coppin State players. And through 10 minutes, the Cavaliers by 7.
The memory bank for these two. They have been doing this game in and game out. More recently, Lattimore has been really hitting her stride, but Lawrence is so consistent. No matter who she's playing up against, she's going to get her number. She has 8 double-doubles this season.
Yeah, had 16 and 10 against Maryland, 20 points against South Carolina, so she could do a lot against really top-notch competition. As Tiffany Hammond, their main three-point shooter, airballs it here at JPJ.
Tiffany Hammond is a transfer for this squad, and Coach talked about the growth that he has seen from her and just her willingness to buy in defensively more so to what they have going on.
Hammond now 0 for 5 as she celebrates a birthday today. Happy birthday to TK, as they nickname her. 39% three-point shooter. She dishes this time, and the shot from the corner, Balinga, and it pops over the backboard.
You know, so far in this game, you definitely have to give credit to this Virginia defense. Their ability to remain consistent in how they are guarding in this zone. It really does make a difference. You slow down their best scorer. She's still getting her points, right? We called it out. 6 points so far, 3 of 7, but it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, they're making things difficult for Lawrence, and then UVA all season long has been a very good perimeter defense team.
Oh, yeah.
26% from three-point range for opposition. And so far today, Coppin State just 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. Lob it in. Lattimore, the one-touch finish on the trampoline.
I mean, when you have a player that can get up like that, I'm sure there are many plays in that playbook for looks like that. Man,
well,
just elevating.
We're talking about a player who dunked when she was in 6th grade.
Well, that's true. We're still waiting for one in JPJ.
We'd love to see it. We would love to see it. Tyler Gray on the other end. Lattimore would become the 10th ever Division I women's basketball player to dunk in a game. I'm just saying.
I think she can do it.
I think so, too.
Let her get some space.
How about her perimeter skills here? Eagles in transition here. Gray, 3rd in the MEAC in assists per game with just under 4. Down the baseline, Jones whips it across. Hammond, a short corner J, very contested, doesn't matter.
Beautiful, beautiful secondary transition. The three-point shot wasn't there on one side, and the ability to drive and kick for a beautiful pull-up in rhythm. Man, I tell you, if she is right there on that block, and that's a perfect screen too, right? Like she wasn't just standing there. There was a pick set up for this bucket. Soft touch right over the rim.
And so if you're defending there and you're Coppin State, anything you can do?
I mean, you should push up and not get hit by the screen, right? But maybe they switch, right? You know, maybe they switch, but that's a guard on her now, and so you're losing size there as well.
Lattimore has not checked out of the game yet. 14 points, and the star player for UVA, Kymora Johnson, still scoreless. Noyan, the offensive board, swarmed. 2 more free throws for UVA.
Yeah. The lack of scoring from Johnson is new. It's different, right? But the ability, the fact that, one, her energy hasn't changed, her leadership hasn't changed, and then you have teammates that you can lean on and rely on until you see that ball go through the bucket.
Well, Johnson has 20-point games in 4 of her last 5. She's averaging just under 19 per game, which is 4th in the ACC. And yet the Cavaliers have a 7-point lead over Coppin State, and she hasn't scored. And on the other end, Coppin State, we talked about that overtime win over Kent State. Now, the Eagles showed a lot of poise in that game, especially in overtime. Layla Lawrence didn't play. She fouled out late in regulation.
Yeah. Talk about leaning on your principles, right? There are times where your best scorer isn't going to be in the game. And so you talk about the culture, those phrases that Coach talked about, Coach Woods talked about, right? Disrupt, deflect, defend. Everyone can do that. Coach Mox talks about rebounding, defending, right? Everyone can do that. And so I think that is really what holds true in instances like this.
Cavaliers with offensive board number 10 in the game. And we haven't even played 13 minutes.
Something to definitely keep an eye on there. Virginia has always been a great rebounding team under Coach Mox. And Coppin State hasn't been the best throughout their time so far. I believe averaging about only 36 rebounds per game.
Yeah, Coppin State gets out-rebounded on average by 7 per game. The Cavaliers out-rebound opponents by 6 per game.
Yeah, definitely a swing there. And it's going to be an emphasis on both sides of the ball to make sure that they are putting a body on someone, because we know they have a leaper.
All right, there's Kymora Johnson. One clap. She jogs back on D, and in her mind, yeah, finally.
It's like, I'm good now. It's Saturday afternoon. Just hang in there, guys.
Yeah, it took her some time to get going here. Cavaliers did take a shoot around this morning. Coppin State did not. The Eagles practiced here at JPJ yesterday. Jones to Gray, the two backcourt mates. Gray at 5'6", Jones at 5'4". Not a lot of height, but a lot of speed, and they're both lefties. 3-second call on Lawrence.
There it is, that pressure on the inside. Lawrence trying to hold her position. It makes a difference.
Motion offense here for the Cavs. Clark downhill. Oh, what a move. Swimming and skating for 2 and a timeout for Coach Woods.
The Euro step, ball above the head of the defender. Perfect bucket. Perfect bucket to turn her team. Give them a couple more buckets. Put some finesse on it, why not?
Financially, I think it's important. It's the next step for this program. You know, it's not the only thing that we need to continue to work on, but that helps us. It's going to help us reach new heights, and I think even just his belief in us is going to help other alums, possibly other donors, want to contribute as well.
For Coach Mox, putting her stakes in the ground, that is tremendous. Generous were the words that she used to explain what this moment means for Virginia women's basketball. There are a lot of eyes, and there's been a lot of awareness around women's basketball as a whole, but for Virginia, this means so much. She's so big on alum. She's so big on family culture at Virginia, and this is an opportunity for her to really continue to do what she wants to do, put her stakes in the ground, and a lot more doors opening up, right? Other donors want to get in on this and figure out what the Cavaliers are all about.
Oh, for sure, Lauren. And look, you played with this Cavaliers program pre-NIL. If you're a player, though, what do you think the emotions are like when you see a donation like that?
Man, gratefulness, right? A lot of times we get on grounds, we get on campuses, and we see the history of what other people before us have done, right? And they didn't have all that these players have now, right? They have more than I had, right? And I had more than Dawn Staley, right? And so the ability to be able to really put to good use the resources that this comes with.
Yeah, just a tremendous gift that was given by Ohanian. And he said he's been asked for a long time, you know, when are you going to get into women's basketball? And he decided, since his company Reddit went public this year, that it was a good opportunity for him to get involved. And Ohanian, of course, the husband of tennis great Serena Williams. So great to see that support for UVA. Cavaliers still by 11 here. Paris Clark tees up the straight on 3, clanks it off the back rim, and climbing for the rebound, it's Hammond.
Fast-paced game here. Virginia trying to get into that zone off of made baskets. We see here they're in this man-to-man off of a miss.
Layla Lawrence on the pump fake, the hesitation, bolts inside. Clark bats it, Lawrence regains. Kicks it back out. Coppin State needs to get the perimeter game going. Can't do it this time with Hammond, who remains 0 for from beyond the arc. Now 0 for 6. Lattimore down low. And the finish. She's got 16.
Pressure, poise, when she needs to be. Didn't see the defender there, it looked like, and she was still able to take that hit and find the bucket.
Another 3 ball. This time it's a swish, and it's from Jones.
Jones' second 3 on the night. She's not afraid to take them, okay?
And the Cavaliers are not afraid to use the transition game. 8 fast break points already. Remember, Coppin State plays with a shorter rotation than UVA. The Cavaliers will use about 10 players. Coppin State, meanwhile, 7 or 8. Balinga, the J, another one off the heel. Johnson freelancing, kicks it out to Noyan. McGhee, maybe the top shooter on this team, bangs a triple.
Is Virginia feeling good or what?
Oh yeah.
Shooting almost 46 from the field and 42.9 from deep.
Virginia only shoots it at 29.5% from 3 on the season. That's 16th out of 18 in the ACC, but they rely upon the 3 ball. They make 7 per game. Johnson ahead once again, stops and pops a triple.
The attention has been put on Lattimore, and what does that do? Open up the 3-point shot. First from McGhee, then from Johnson. They are feeling it, and it is paying off. Virginia up 42-24.
Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. I'm going in.
Cavaliers have opened up an 18-point lead over Coppin State, forcing a second timeout from head coach Jermaine Woods.
2:59.
UVA unstoppable on the glass, Lauren, and they're also unstoppable in transition.
8-0 run over 1 minute and 7 seconds. Virginia taking advantage when the ball comes out the net or off the rim. They are running. They have transition. They have lanes, right? 4 transition buckets, and it's really paying off here, and it gives them the opportunity to then get back and get set in this zone that they love so much.
Well, the Cavaliers really stumbled in their last game against Maryland Eastern Shore in that first half. They were tied against a Hawks team that only had 7 winning seasons in their program history. And look, UVA coming off of 4 straight losses. I think the Cavaliers ready to go today, Lauren.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is middle of the season, right? Like, next game is Notre Dame. There's no time to waste if you are Virginia.
Riley Graves, who is in for the first time, the 6'4" sophomore from Texas, with the apology there to the fans in the front row. Look, that's what you kind of get, Lauren, when you pay for a first-row ticket. You're going to have players in your lap at times.
Well, they're going to be talking about that all week, okay?
It's more like a thank you. You don't need to apologize to me. McGhee called for the kickball here.
Coppin State running into some spacing issues with this 3-2. The person up top has been long, right? We have McGhee up there now. Lattimore was up there at the beginning of this game, and Coppin State really has to split that person and try to find a way to get in to the middle.
So you got to force feed it to the high post there?
Yeah, but the person at the high post can't be standing behind a defender, you know?
Sure. Jones, shot clock at 2, converts.
So tough. Angel Jones has been so tough, so consistent. 4 of 9 with 12 points.
Kymora Johnson down the lane and 1.
Come on. That was like a big man move going down the lane with the defender on her hip. It didn't matter. So much poise. She gets her eyes up on that backboard. Drops right in.
With a player like Kymora Johnson, Lauren, who is a 41% three-point shooter, I'd imagine you really can't sag off of her, but she also has the speed. The matchup just seems so difficult.
You never know what she's gonna do. You have to put your best player on Kymora Johnson, or she will find the weakness and attack it. And the weakness might change, right? Like in the beginning of the game, they may be sagging off and she's gonna knock down the 3, and then once she hits a few, right? I think something that she does so well is she adapts mid-game. And, you know, I don't know how much Coach Mox is saying, hey, this is your drive opportunity, this is your shot, but it seems like it's so innate for her to be able to just read what the defense is giving her and go.
Starting December 29th, we'll have 4 consecutive weeks with Sunday women's basketball quadruple headers on ACC Network. Our first lineup has Hannah Hidalgo and third-ranked Notre Dame hosting Virginia at noon Eastern. Then it's Louisville, Boston College, followed by number 19 North Carolina and Miami. And the day is capped off by number 21 NC State hosting Clemson. The Wolfpack surviving a bid from James Madison for an upset win on Thursday. Wolfpack also had a 30-point win over Louisville last Sunday at the Yum Center. Riley Grays rips the board away.
Good hustle there for Grays, able to get out of the zone and make sure she had full and total control over that rebound.
Grays played a season-low 2 minutes against Maryland Eastern Shore, picked up a foul. That was her only stat in that game. Cavaliers this time with the turnover. And a kick ball again.
Well, definitely something to look for. Only 1 minute and 9 seconds left in this half, but that last defensive possession for Coppin State, they began to blitz the ball screen. They're adding pressure when that point guard, when Kymora Johnson, other guards, they're coming off of these ball screens. They're going to get some extra pressure now.
And Coach Woods, it's interesting, he talked about his team's loss to North Carolina earlier this season. They lost 72-46, played a pretty decent second half. He said, that was totally my bad. We should have iced ball screens from the start in that game. How about this long pass? The catch from the wide receiver McGhee, and on the lateral, it didn't work.
Yeah, not sure who she thought was going to be standing there trying to get the tip from her, but she misread that one.
Brianna Hurd had the pinpoint pass on that one ahead. Now Kymora Johnson, no hesitation. And a loose ball foul on Coppin State as the Cavaliers continue to manhandle the Eagles on the boards, plus 14 in this game.
Valenti, she was able to box out. Valenti Paya, excuse me, was able to box out and get position down there. Not very tall, only 5'9", but she was able to position herself to land herself at the free throw line.
Mikkel Lowry picks up her second. Coppin State starting to get in some foul trouble here. Layla Lawrence has 3 fouls in this game, and Hammond also has a couple of fouls. So that's a big problem for Coach Wood's team. Again, not one that's very deep. Angel Jones has been cooking in this game, 12 points in 19 minutes. The rest of her team, though, just 14 combined. McTeer feed it down low. Balinga kicks it out. Wide open 3 for Lowry. It's a switch.
Good kick there. I thought Balinga was going to try to enforce her will and go through the defense, but a wide open Lowry 3 is good.
Late second quarter bid doesn't go for Brianna Hurd, but Virginia with an explosive offensive first half, scoring 22 in the first, 25 in the second. There is Layla Lawrence. She is in to start this second half for Coppin State, so she needs to be very careful with those 3 fouls if the Eagles want to come back in this game. Trailing by 18 against the Cavaliers in the 7th ever meeting. Virginia has won the first 6, most recently in 2018 as Edessa Noyan steps out of bounds following her 8-point first half, and she was perfect. 2 for 2 from the floor, 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
Really, really effective. Every time she's on the court, she doesn't waste her shots, I should say, right? Like, she's making the most of her minutes.
Here's Angel Jones for Coppin State. 12 points in the first half, 4 for 9, but everybody else struggled for the Eagles. Danny McTeer on the score sheet here.
Second shot of the afternoon. First one to go through the basket for Danny McTeer.
And that is her first points in the month of December as Lattimore misfires and Coppin State can make it back-to-back possessions with points. Lawrence on the handoff, scooting inside Gray. Oh, Lattimore had a fly swatter of a hand.
My goodness, she timed that up perfectly. As soon as the ball left her hands, she was able to swat it up out of the air.
Team leader in blocks now with 21 this season. Cavaliers 43% from the floor so far. Clark mistimed her layup there, and McTeer on the cleanup. Coppin State at 8-5 this season. They've won 6 of their last 8, and their last 3 wins have come in overtime. They need a comeback effort today. Gray follows her own miss.
No box out there. Paris Clark lost her footing and turned out to be a Coppin State bucket.
All right, Lauren, so similar situation to the Maryland Eastern Shore game. Hawks scored the first 2 baskets of the second half, prompting a timeout from Coach Mox, and then UVA pretty much dominated from there. Coppin State, meanwhile, yeah, they're down 14 here, but the Eagles have scored the first 4 of this second half.
Yeah, Brianna Hurd coming in here for Virginia, but it's the reminder, right? Like, we just came out of halftime. What was our focus? Re-engaging the team to make sure that they are aware of what the mission is what Coach Mox did in that last game. And here, you know, you're hoping that your leader will do that.
Yeah, third quarters have really plagued UVA, and they've really limped out of halftime this season.
You know, it's something to also say, right? Like, their aggressiveness doesn't change. It's the mistakes that begin to really wane on them.
Yeah, 9 turnovers in this game for UVA. And the Cavaliers have turned the ball over too much this season. 7-5 through 12. Ice the ball screen. Johnson moves away from it, whips it across McGhee as the shot clock expires. Doesn't get that one to go. Off the tip, it's Angel Jones.
Good defensive stop there. Defensive strategy working out for Coppin State on this end, looking to get it inside.
Cavs in the man-to-man, the ISO and the kick for a 3, and it's up. No good that time for Mikkel Lowry. Loose ball, diving to the ground, Hurd, and bounces it away for Johnson. But then it's jarred free. Coppin State with it.
Tier able to poke it out from behind there. Great read, knowing that her teammate was in front.
Well, they wanted the Cavaliers to be hungry going down the stretch of non-conference play. Hurd showing that here.
Yeah, getting on the floor, laying it out, and seeing her teammate ahead. Good read, just didn't pan out the way she expected to.
Hurd 3 points, 0 for 4 from the floor, 3 for 4 from the line with 5 rebounds. Kymora Johnson on the back down, and Noyan sloppy with it. I thought she was asking for a timeout. The officials didn't recognize that. And now a 3-second call on UVA. Coach Mox displeased. Cavaliers just sloppy to start this second half.
Lack of a rhythm here. Offensively, not getting into their sets. The first half, they were so sharp in getting to their spot and running their sets all the way through and seeing the different options.
Cavaliers back in the 3-2 zone. Lattimore with that 6'4" frame, a steal and a foul on Coppin State.
Good steal there. Turned out to be a foul on Coppin State, but that's another opportunity, right? We talk about the little things with Virginia and taking care of the ball. You get a hand on the steal, or you get a hand on the ball for a steal, and then you begin dribbling. That you put yourself in danger there. You're still in enemy territory.
Hammond, by the way, with 3 fouls, like Lawrence. Layla couldn't grab the rebound, but she's helped out there by Lowry. 14-point lead for UVA. The Cavaliers still scoreless after halftime. Nice ball movement here from Coppin State. Jones too short. Again gets her own miss. Flips it up, no. Off the body of Johnson, out of bounds. Angel Jones is 5'4", and twice in this second half, she's got offensive rebounds.
Yep. Following up her shot. They always say, shooters, follow your shot, right? We talked about long shots, long rebounds. Sometimes it comes right off the back of the rim or the front of the rim, and that's an opportunity to go get another one.
To the free throw line, Lawrence. And Casey Valenti-Paya is checking in now for UVA. Coach Mox, hand on the hip, does not like what she's seeing right now.
Hunger. Fight, right? That's what you want to see from your team when they come out of a halftime and they've been having a good half of basketball.
Coming up tonight on ACC Network and the ESPN app, we have a primetime West Coast matchup in men's basketball as Cal takes on number 23 San Diego State in San Jose. Bears 7-4, Aztecs at 7-2. Cal led by Andrei Stojakovic, the son of Peja Stojakovic. Cavaliers still hunting for their first 2 points of the second half, and Noyan provides them.
Nice high-low there between Lattimore and Edessa Noyan. We've seen them play off of each other before. Lattimore usually on the outside, but they both in the paint, they're able to get one in.
Long-range shot. Lowry, no. And Olivia McGhee springboards for the rebound. Johnson analyzing, dishes. Noyan, a triple.
Transition buckets. Doesn't matter how they come. It's 3 is good for Noyan. Everyone just running lanes. That's something that I always see about Virginia. No one's assigned to a lane. Just get in the lane and run.
A lot of flexibility offensively for this UVA team. Shot clock at 10 here as we hit the midway point of quarter 3. Lawrence surrounded by 3 on the back cut. And Johnson at least altered that shot from Jones. Coppin State retains, down by 17.
Big time block there for the sophomore Kymora Johnson, but Edessa Noyan, she's finding her groove, making herself available and finishing when it matters. She's playing with a lot of confidence, and we talked about it earlier, right? She's doing it all 4 for 4 and 5 rebounds, right? Like, there are opportunities or times in this game where the star may not be shining so bright. And for Virginia to have players that can step up, that can realize, okay, more attention is on them. Let me get in the mix. Let me extend this lead a little bit. And that's what she's doing.
Yeah, she's tied her career high, 13 points. Also had that against BC. Noyan now going for the complete career high. But the follow-up is there from Olivia McGhee. You know, Lauren, as we continue on in non-conference play for UVA, I think we've learned Kymora Johnson's great. Latasha Lattimore is fantastic. The question with this team, where is that third scorer coming from? If they get it from Noyan and if they get it from McGhee and some other places as well, you're talking about a UVA team picked 9th in the preseason poll that really can compete in the ACC.
Yeah, it's going to be the consistency. Who are you going to show up as every single day? In the ACC, it's so tough, right? But the top teams in the ACC, they do have very similar commonalities in the fact that their scorers are consistent night in and night out, right? And so for Virginia, it's going to be showing and improving.
And I think you can put Kymora Johnson in the same category as a Hidalgo or a Latson, right? But everybody else needs to do their part too.
Oh yeah, right? Everyone has a role. You know, I think about when before Hannah Hidalgo was there. Olivia Miles and Sonia Cintron, they played off of each other so well. So if one person did have an off night, it wasn't the end of the world. They didn't have to succumb to a loss because the other was able to step up, and then, right, then they would have a post player and so on and so on. And so it's the balance that needs to be consistent, because we know what to expect from Kymora Johnson. We know what to expect from Lattimore.
Lawrence missing the second free throw. There's Lattimore gobbling up another rebound, her 7th of this game, to go along with her 16 points to lead UVA. Noyan second with 13. Johnson, 8 points, 5 assists in this game. Layup, no, but earns a trip to the stripe.
That would have been nice at the bucket. She's so good with body control. For her to be, you know, small stature, she really handles the pressure well. She puts that shoulder down, and when it's time to raise up for the shot, her eyes are right at her target.
You know the word that comes to mind for Johnson, Lauren? Slippery.
There she goes. She's off. She feels the contact, and she looks straight up. As soon as she gets into the contact, she pushes off and is looking up, and it really does work in her favor, right? Not able to see it go down then, but how many times this season have we seen her make a play like that, and she gets the and one?
You know, for me too, Lauren, it's that first burst, right? That first step. I don't think many people across the country can compete with that.
Oh, yeah. extremely fast. I mean, we've seen her run in transition, but that first step is a difference maker when you think about Kymora Johnson, because she can also shoot. So if you're playing her tight for the shot and she surprises you, you're really just relying on help defense at that point.
And I think she would tell you too, Lauren, that her three-point shot has not been amazing over the last stretch of games. I mean, she started the season 15 for 28 from beyond the arc. Then in the next 7 games, 12 for 38. And look, still, the percentages are great. You see it up there on the screen, 41%. But if she can be consistent with that 40-ish% from three-point range and that speed, it's tough.
I mean, she's also been a player that's made 6 threes in a game before as well, right?
And scored 35 against Florida State on the road.
Exactly. So you have to respect her at a point, and even that game, right? That was at a point in their season, right, where they needed the win. They were hungry.
Yeah, they were 0-6 in ACC play prior to that win against FSU last season. It took them time to get going last year. They did down the stretch of ACC play, and obviously some personnel has changed. But, you know, if you're going to talk to Coach Mox going into ACC play, Notre Dame coming up 2 Sundays from now, you got to be ready to go from the jump.
Oh, yeah. Coach Mox is a coach. She focuses a lot on what her team needs to do, right? And, yeah, you can adapt. She has plans to adapt. You know, she's really good with coaches in regards to preparing for teams.
Transition to a T there.
Yeah, that's what Virginia's going to do, right? No matter who they're playing, we're going to see them get up and down.
How about this? 16-0, the advantage in fast break points for UVA this afternoon.
Wow.
Cavs getting back defensively, making things difficult on Coppin State. 3 ball is up from Jones. Johnson helping out on the glass and then whacks it over to Grays, but was out of bounds.
Kymora Johnson in transition. No look.
That's Miles-esque.
Yeah, she's got some swag, and when you give her some space, oh, get ready for the show.
But isn't it the joy too, right? We talk about all the items in her bag in terms of the on-court stuff. But, like, she's smiling all the time. She enjoys playing basketball, maybe more than anybody else that's in a white uniform.
And that was the same when she was 0-3 to begin this game. Her face didn't change, and that's what you need in a leader.
Oh, look at this. Body spilling to the ground, and it's Coppin State possession after this foul. And give credit to UVA here. Coppin State celebrating a lot of history here this season. Talked about the overtime wins against George Washington and Kent State. Before that, the Eagles beating Arizona State, their 2nd ever Power Conference win. They beat Pitt last season under Coach Woods. So this is a team that has a lot of confidence coming in.
Yeah, a lot to be motivated by.
There's Sari Worley from the outside. Someone you know very well.
Oh,
Lauren.
Yeah, I've been knowing Sari Worley for a long time. Philly Triple Threat days, my AAU team. Her father, the founder and coach, and huge impact in my life. And the reason why I even ended up at Virginia, you know? Like, I was started with Philly Triple Threat when I was 11 and continued with them until I had no longer had any eligibility. But to see Sari Worley grow in her college career, right? Started off at UMass Loyola and was able to get into that transfer portal, and Coach Woods talked about just her maturity, her awareness of what she needs to be successful on the court. And it's definitely a pleasure, full circle moment to be commentating a game that she is not just playing in, but also having some success, some personal success in as well. Had a career night in their last outing.
Yeah, 15 points. Yeah, all-time leading scorer at Abington High School, Montgomery County. And you talked about the maturity. She went into Coach Woods' office about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, and said, you know, Coach, I just feel like I'm not grasping things offensively. And I think the reason why, I'm not playing with the groups in practice that I would play in the games with.
Yeah.
And so Coach Woods said, you know what, Sari, you're right. I got to get you involved in practice more. And that paid dividends the other night against Kent State.
Yeah, and sometimes you have those conversations, right? And maybe the coach messes up or forgets about it in practice. No, that conversation continued to happen. He's like, there's times where I was in practice and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot. And she's looking at him like, hey coach, remember that conversation? And you know, that just tells you about the conversations that his players can have. He talked about empowering them to use their voices. And I tell you, for a new player, right, new to this program, to be able to go into your office and point out something that she notices and feel comfortable to do that, it speaks highly of Coach Woods for sure.
Yeah, he said to us, you know, look, I can't explain to them how to become a woman, but I can give them the tools to learn how to do that.
Yep.
And that's kind of his philosophy coaching here at Coppin State. 5 seconds to go in the quarter here. Coppin State outscoring UVA in this third quarter. That would have been massive for the Eagles to get that three. They're trailing by 13 against the Cavaliers. As we head to the fourth here from John Paul Jones Arena. An interesting one here from Charlottesville. Slate that I think they would have liked to have had coming into this season. But you have a player like that who plays with so much joy. How important is that when you're going through some stretches you're not exactly liking as a team?
Oh, so important, right? We can't harp in the loss. Basketball is a quick game. You can have a bad play and turn it around in an instant, but it takes mindset and a perspective. And I think that's something that Kymora Johnson has. For her to be able to turn on the laughs and turn on game or turn off the laughs for game mode, that tells you a lot just within, you know, a game.
Latasha Lattimore denied inside after the basket from Sari Worley, her second three on the day. And Coppin State, after trailing by 20 in that third quarter, down by 10 here.
They are not going away. This is a team that has played 3 ranked opponents, and not just played, competed with 3 ranked opponents and didn't go in, you know, oh, we're gonna go and get better. No, we're gonna go in for a win is the mindset that Coppin State has, and they have that today as well.
Johnson speeding ahead and going to the line. Yeah, Lauren, it was so interesting with Coach Woods and talking to him. You know, normally this time of the season, right, teams out of the MEAC getting ready for conference play. You play a top-notch program like UVA to the ACC, and it's like, all right, let's learn something about this basketball game. You know, let's apply that going into no. It's about, okay, like, we're going to go and win this basketball game. They went to South Carolina earlier this season, and they were disappointed to lose by 32 in that game.
Yeah, he said, we want to compete for a championship. Anything less is a failure. So he's very serious. He's very serious, and his players are even more serious because they have a coach that is all the way supporting them and behind them on all fronts, on and off the court. Look at what they've gone up against. Yeah. And look what they've been able to do. This is history-making wins, or program history-making wins here against ASU, against George Washington. First win ever.
And just to add to that, Lauren, a Coppin State team that's been 500 or below in 9 of the last 10 seasons. They have 8 wins so far. Heck, they've only had 9 or more wins twice in the last 8 years. And they have a chance for 9 today. They're down by 11. By the way, Angel Jones, the 5'4" guard, had her 3rd offensive rebound of this half in that last exchange.
Small but feisty.
Yeah.
She's going after the ball with everything she got in her.
McTeer. And Coppin State is within 8. That forces a timeout from Coach Mox. An Eagles group that was down by 21 in the second quarter.
That's why you can't count Coppin State out. They are here to win, okay? Everyone getting in on the party.
Scoring Virginia 24-14 in this second half. And the Eagles have just played harder in this second half, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, they're on the boards. Virginia is a team that is 3rd in the ACC in rebounds, and Coppin State is winning the board battle in the second half so far, +4. And then you have Danny McTeer, who's knocking shots down from deep. Sari Worley able to come in and add 6 points in the second half.
And Layla Lawrence, who comes up with the steal there, had 3 fouls before the end of the first half and has not picked up a foul here in the second. That's been very integral. Lawrence on the back down. Cavaliers worked on doubling Lawrence. She kicks it out for a wide open shot. That doesn't go from Lowry. Whistle and a loose ball foul on Coppin State.
Looks like we might have just talked up a Lawrence foul there. Battling for the rebound.
We sure did. Her 4th. So now Lawrence exits the game, and Ari Vidrell-Belinga, the Coastal Carolina transfer, returns. Belinga never really got a chance with the Chanticleers, but a much bigger impact here with Coppin State as a senior.
Yeah, 6'3" center, able to move her feet really well when she does get the ball down there.
Lattimore has been quiet in the second half. Had 16 at halftime on 7 for 12, and only has 2 points in the second half.
Yeah, both of these teams adapting to what the other is doing, right? Lattimore, we highlighted her in the open. She came out, was hot, but then all the eyes were on her, and so she started to get more pressure and opened up shots for shooters, and now she's seeing a little bit of a change happening here in the second half as things wind down, where she's able to slow it down when she gets the ball in the paint, survey, and that jab step drive is her move.
Now she's got to make her free throws, though. Only 1 for 3 today. 62% on the season. Goes 0 for 2 on that trip, but Coppin State fails to box out. And Coach Woods, not on your screen right now, arms outstretched like, ugh. Clark off the screen, the catch and fire, and the connection.
Beautiful execution off of a second chance opportunity. Clark runs the baseline, get a wide open corner 3 in her sweet spot.
Lauren, that must be so crushing for Coppin State.
Man, all the energy, all the momentum going your way. Several people getting in on it, but it's not too late.
Jones has the answer, though, for Coppin State. Okay. Back down by single digits. 16 points for Angel Jones, the junior from Woodbridge. Harris Clark goes on a dance. Cerie Worley stays attached. A lot of dribbling here for Clark, not much passing. Shot clock at 10. Johnson, the pull-up. Rebound, Belinga.
Good defense there, hand in her face, making it difficult for guards coming off of those slashes.
Jones, some pep in her step. Throws it up and in, straight down the chimney.
Tough bucket. Shorten her drive just a little bit to get into her defender and Kymora Johnson, and she just timed that up so good, knowing that she was going to get that contact, and scooped it in.
Coppin State can make this a 2-possession game. 32 seconds left in the second quarter. This game was 47-26 UVA. And now it's a 6-point differential with just over 6 minutes to go in the final non-con game for UVA this season.
Corey, this is what Coppin State lives for. Fourth quarter games, when it's on the line, when it really matters, when the way you come off of a ball screen matters, the way you rebound matters. This is what gets them excited.
And they faced a plethora of different situations. They were down, up by 14 against Kent State going into the fourth quarter. Lost that lead, but then won in overtime. Now facing an uphill climb, and they are starting to reach that top.
Yeah, it's their ball now, and we mentioned it. They have 3 games this season. 3-0, I should say, in overtime this season.
You predicting another overtime period?
I mean, they're making it seem like there could be one in the near future.
And they're playing without Layla Lawrence. Remember, Lawrence did not play in overtime against Kent State, and Coppin State won the game. Double-double machine Lawrence. Shot clock at 8. The wiggle from Jones, and then heaves it off the backboard. That was out of control. Lattimore the board, and now a loose ball foul from behind. It's on McTeer.
Looked like Lattimore was trying to push it ahead herself. An opportunity for her to probably kick it ahead and chase down the lane in transition.
All right, so here comes Lawrence playing with those 4 fouls. Virginia in this second half, just 17 points. What could they do better offensively here, Lauren?
They got to continue to execute, right? When they got that second chance bucket and was able to reset, they were successful, right? Like, that's not a terrible shot, but if you can get an up and under, if you can get a few more passes in there, right, to get a cleaner shot, that might be better.
And you understand what Lattimore is doing there, the 4 fouls from Layla Lawrence. She's got it now and muscles her way to 2. It's a 4-point game.
Good for Lawrence there. So hard to play with fouls, with 4 fouls at that in the final quarter of a 4-point game.
Cavs fans trying to create some energy, but the buzz really has been sucked out of this building right now. Screen from Noyan, Clark zigzagging, feed, Johnson wants it, doesn't get it, and a loose ball foul on McGhee. And for Virginia, just its second team foul, but it's a 4-point game. Coppin State possession when we return on ACC Network Extra. 4 combined with 17 rebounds as well. And they have really been prickly for UVA this afternoon. Coppin State has won just 2 games against power conference opponents in its long history, hoping for their 3rd this afternoon. There are the numbers on Jones and Lawrence.
Yeah, this would be a big one for them. Lawrence, that would be her 9th
and
1. Not her 9th and 1, but her 9th double-double this game would be for the season, and she does not care. She's like, I'm still gonna go at you. You thought I was gonna soften up? Absolutely not. And I still will make the bucket.
Jinx, you owe me a soda there on that and 1. So Lawrence with 17, make it 18. And folks, after a 21-point deficit for Coppin State in the second quarter, it is down to just 1. Eagles in the second half outscoring the Cavaliers double, 34-17. UVA nearly throws it away. Lattimore with the save. Johnson inside on the kick. McGhee unloads. No. Rebound. And it's Lawrence who's got it for Coppin State. 4 minutes to go, and Coppin State can take the lead.
What a scramble there defensively. So many times where Coppin State thought they were going to come up with the steal, had to just contest the 3 and rebound.
They've remained poised in this game. Here's Worley trying to get it off to Jones. She does. The timer is down to 8. Jones piercing the paint. Bounce down low. Balinga swatted away. Lattimore with the rejection. She remains down in the backcourt. Up ahead, McGhee. Layup is good. It's a 3-point game. Lattimore slowly gets back on her feet, but now she crumples back to the ground. Oh. The athletic trainer for the Cavaliers, Anthony Crescenzi, sprints out to check in. Lattimore, 18 points, 9 rebounds. And she is having a lot of trouble right now.
Lattimore has been so good tonight. Comes up with a block. It looks like she stepped awkwardly there. Ooh, ankle.
Well, the good news, Lattimore did get up. And she did sprint to the bench. You see her there, 35 in white. So Lattimore will stay in the game. You know, Lauren, sometimes you experience it as a player, right? That initial shock.
Oh, yeah. Always, when that ankle rolls a little bit, and, you know, you have tape and ankle braces and all the protective measures in place. But it can be a little nerve-wracking when you don't land how you usually do.
3 ties the game for Coppin State with just over 3 minutes to go. Again, it's Lawrence inverting the offense. Off the hands of Balinga, and a steal for Hurd. Tosses it behind Johnson, but Clark helps out. Cavaliers hoping to make this a 2-possession game.
3 minutes left in this game. Have to take care of the ball. Have to be on top of it offensively for Virginia.
Whistle and a travel on Johnson. And the smile that once was on Kymora's face now turns into confusion.
Virginia needs a stop, has to cut this momentum that Coppin State has had. Although they haven't made their last few buckets going to the rim, they have been extremely aggressive by getting 2 feet in the paint, kicking for a shooter, dumping off, and it's been effective.
Lattimore back in for UVA at the top of that 3-2 zone. Such a problem. They get it to Lawrence. Extra pass down low. Lawrence a block, or rather Lattimore with the block, and a foul, and it's on Latasha.
There it is. Getting the ball in that high post area. Lawrence does such a good job of surveying, seeing the defender come, the help defender come. And Laurie's able to go up, or excuse me, McTeer is able to go up into it. She's got 2.
Misses the first. McTeer, 7 for 12 on the season coming in. She's been great in the second half. 7 points on the game, 3 for 4 from the floor. Second one from McTeer is true, and it's a 2-point game. Coach Mox does have 3 timeouts remaining. Coppin State's head coach Jermaine Woods with 2 in his pocket. He had to call 2 in that second quarter. He told us, I don't call timeouts unless I have something poignant to say. I'm not just going to yell at everybody. Lattimore, a bounce pass, another turnover for UVA. The Cavaliers' 16th giveaway. Coppin State only with 10, and a chance to tie or take the lead. Lawrence scanning, travels.
Well, Corey, I'll tell you, Virginia's getting a dose of their own medicine. Coppin State has gone into a zone. When Lattimore was going to work, when she came out in this fourth quarter and started getting back into her bag, Coppin State adapted, and they're now in a zone, and it's making it really hard for this Virginia offense.
Yeah, 3-2, just like Coach Mox uses. McGhee on the overload, unloads, and that was necessary for UVA, and they got it from O.
And the best way to get them out of the zone is to shoot them out of the zone. Knocked down for McGhee, wide open off of a screen on the baseline side. Perfect execution for the Cavaliers.
Second straight game for McGhee with 12 points. 5-point deficit for Coppin State. Lawrence arcs it down low. McTeer turns it over. A lot of length for UVA down low. Clark zipping ahead. Runner doesn't go. Rebound for Coppin State. It's Worley plucking it down. $1:20 to play here in the fourth. Lawrence again. Spinorama. Layup gets the kind roll. What a shot from Lawrence.
She is just so hard to stop down low. The way she posted up, you could see all of her jersey.
Noyan tees it up and makes it. And Coach Mox with a roar.
That's what Virginia needs. Players that are going to come in, whether they're starters, coming off the bench, when there's an opportunity to shine, Noyan takes it every time.
Career high 16 points for Noyan this afternoon. 6-point game. Coppin State needs points quickly. Clark slaps it away, out of bounds. It stays with Coppin State, and a timeout from Coach Woods with under 40 seconds to play.
Noyan with 16 points. She's 5 from 6 from the floor. 2 of 3 from deep. Complete confidence. We talked about coming into this game. She had been dealing with some health-related issues with pneumonia. But the way that she's able to come in and make such an immediate impact has really helped in this fourth quarter.
Tonight, after the college football playoff first-round games, SMU, Penn State, Clemson, and Texas, the Huddle crew has a full breakdown, including coach and player interviews. We're estimating the start time to be around 7 o'clock Eastern time. 39.6 to go in this fourth quarter. Virginia by 6. Lawrence with 20. Jones with 19. No other Eagle with more than 10. There's Noyan, who's had a big afternoon. 16 points on 5 for 6. One of 4 Cavaliers in double figures. Shot clock down to 9. Lawrence gives it right back to Jones. On the replacement, Worley couldn't get off the initial shot. Now steps back and takes it. Misses. Offensive rebound, McTeer. Coppin State needs to work quickly. 3 ball, no from Jones. And Lattimore devours it. Shot clock is off.
Big time rebound there to stop the shots from going up. Coppin State trying to get a 3 in.
So Coppin State over the limit as Belinga is back in, and Lawrence fouling out. Heads to the bench. Johnson, big free throw shooter, 86.5%.
I mean, Lawrence heads to the bench, but you gotta commend the type of player that she is to play through adversity play through foul trouble, encourage her teammates on the bench, score 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and was almost perfect from the free throw line. A complete game for their leader.
Yeah, Lauren, we told you off the top, right? She does not lower her game when she plays better opponents. 16-12 against Pitt last year, 16-10 against Maryland this season, 20 points against South Carolina, had another 20-point game against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. She steps up in a big way, but the Cavaliers surviving this wave from Coppin State, leading by 8 with under 19 seconds to go.
And you know, in this quarter, Coppin State scored 19 points to Virginia's 14, right? But it was the work that went in prior to this that Virginia really did use that lead in the beginning of the game that really helped them out in this quarter. But you have to also look at players like Noyan, players like Clark, who was able to come in and hit a corner 3 just as Coppin State started getting into their rhythm.
Couple of huge threes for the Cavaliers down the stretch in this one.
Just a simple pass to the top of the key. They had just came down. Transition was over, and they were getting ready to set up. And Noyan's like, wait a second, I'm open.
2 for 3 from beyond the arc today. 4 for 11 from 3 on the season entering this game. 15 seconds remaining. Coppin State with the basketball. It's Jones. Clark takes a swipe at it, doesn't get it. Coppin State has to go here. 3 is blocked from Johnson, retrieved by Clark. Coppin State will not foul, and the Cavaliers release the tension in this building. Coppin State was down by 21.